Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, and yeah, now here I am. I'm back to continue the Pixar reviews. Yeah, I've now finished school now. I'm done with all my final exams, so yeah, I don't have to worry about school anymore. So yeah, now hopefully I can just continue these Pixar reviews without getting off track or not getting sidetracked with other things that are going on. Yeah, hopefully now I can just get back into these and just get through all the Pixar movies before the end of the month. So yeah. Alright, so yeah, now here I am with my review of The Incredibles. Yeah, so, yeah, this was a really good movie here. Yeah, this is really good. Yeah, I remember I was really excited for this movie when it was first released. Yeah, I remember as a kid I really did like superheroes a lot. Yeah, I liked Spider-Man movies, and yeah, like Batman movies, and yeah, I just liked a lot of superhero movies, and so yeah, I just really liked superheroes when I was a little kid. So yeah, I was excited for this movie when it was released, and yeah, and I think it pretty much lived up to the hype. Yeah, it was a really good movie. Yeah, wouldn't quite say it's as good as like the Toy Story movies and Monsters Inc. Finding Nemo, but yeah, it is still a really good movie. Yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah, it is a really good movie. Yeah, yeah, the family in this movie, they kind of have similar powers to the Fantastic Four, and yeah, there's four of them. Yeah, have the stretch out, have invisibility, the super strength. Yeah, yeah, a lot of similar power to the Fantastic Four. Yeah, and yeah, the movie is really entertaining. Yeah. Yeah, it was under the direction of Brad Bird, and yeah, it was really good direction. And yeah, yeah, you had, of course, John Ratzenberger once again, and as a voice in this movie, but he didn't his voice wasn't until at the very end of the movie. And yeah, had Wallace Shawn, who voiced Rex in the Toy Story movies. He was back for this movie, and yeah, there was yeah, just it is a really, really good movie. Yeah, I would give this probably 3.5 stars out of 4. Yeah, it is yeah, I just really, really do like the movie. Yeah, yeah, it's just, yeah, I really do like it. Yeah, but I think some people, guys in particular, I think some of them are going a little bit crazy for something. Yeah, I've heard some guys say that they actually had a crush on Violet in this movie, and I'm like, huh? Seriously, I mean, you gotta get yourself under control if you actually have a crush on Violet here. I mean, she's not real. Yeah, just, yeah. That just kind of leaves me puzzled when I hear people say they had a crush on Violet in the movie. I mean, seriously, she's a freaking cartoon. She's not real. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Really good movie. Yeah, it has a lot of funny stuff in it. Yeah. Yeah, I just can't say it enough. It is a really, really good movie. So yeah, let me just get right into it. Alright, so the movie just opens with interviews with, the main character, Mr. Incredible, aka his real name is Bob Parr. And I'll just kind of throughout this review, I'm probably just gonna, switch around between calling him Bob and Mr. Incredible. Yeah. Also, Elastigirl, aka Helen, Mrs. Incredible, as she later will be known, and Frozone, who is voiced by Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, we just start with interviews with them. Then it cuts to Mr. Incredible on his way to his wedding where he's gonna marry Elastigirl. Well, and then as he's driving to the wedding, he's getting like sidetracked by some other crimes or just people asking for help. There was a woman that was needing help to get her cat out of the tree, and at the same time there was also a bird. The cops were chasing a robber. Where Mr. Incredible tried to help, And yeah, but the cat was like not wanting to get out of the tree. Mr. Incredible like took the tree, yeah, out of the ground, and he was just shaking the tree to try to get the cat out. And the cat eventually got out, and yeah, Mr. Incredible Man was able to slam the robber's car with the tree to get him to stop, and the police were able to catch him. And as he was going back into his car, that there was an obsessive fan of his who was a young boy who was named Buddy. And he was calling himself Incrediboy. He wanted to be Mr. Incredible's sidekick. He was just telling Mr. Incredible that he's his #1 fan. But Mr. Incredible didn't want Incrediboy working with him. He was saying he works alone, and yeah, he just threw Incrediboy out, and then yeah, he was just getting sidetracked some more with some other crimes taking place. At one point, Elastigirl actually helped him, like stop another robber or something. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, they were actually the ones getting married. Married, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And Mr. Regrettable just kept saying that the reason that he's not at the wedding is just because he has time to stop crimes, yeah. And at one point, there was a guy that was, like, falling from a really tall building, and Mr. Incredible saved him, and we later actually find out that this guy was actually trying to commit suicide on him. And so, yeah, Mr. Incredible ended up saving him by grabbing him, and just they flew right through a glass window. Yeah. And then Incrediboy appeared again with some rocket boots that he made. And yeah, he still wanted to help Mr. Incredible. Mr. Incredible still said no and just told Incrediboy to fly home. And Incrediboy tried to show Mr. Incredible that he can help and that his boots really work. Yeah. And then Mr. Incredible just stopped Buddy, and then yeah, like a bomb that fell on some train tracks. And then yeah, Mr. Incredible was able to stop the train from like falling down barely. Like he was trying to push the train and to keep it from falling, but the train ended up like started going like off of the track. But he was able to stop it from falling completely. Yeah. And then he just took Incrediboy to the police and just told the police to take him home and make sure that his mom knew what he was up to. Yeah. Yeah, and then he would eventually arrive late to his wedding. And yeah, he got married to Elastigirl, or Helen, yeah. And then it showed like all the people are just like protesting against superheroes and just filing lawsuits and stuff, just telling all superheroes to hang up their capes and retire. And then it just forced Mr. Incredible and all the other superheroes to go off into retirement. Yeah. And then it cut to 15 years later, and Bob is now just working for like a department of people making complaints or claims. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, he put on a lot of weight, and he has his supervisor, who was voiced by Wallace Shawn. Yeah, his supervisor, Mr. Huff, is just like always getting after him and yelling at him for like just not doing what he wants him to do. Yeah, and Bob and Helen have 3 kids. Yeah, they have Violet, Dash, and their baby Jack. Yeah, Violet's power is invisibility, and Dash's is super speed. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, they think that Jack doesn't have any powers, and yeah, we would actually find out at the end of the movie that he actually does have power, which I'll get to when we reach it. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, and then Helen is called over to Dash's school. Well, Dash's teacher accused him of putting a tack on his chair because he caught Dash moving on video, just as he sat on the tack, and so yeah, the teacher just accused Dash of putting the tack on his chair since he moved. Yeah, I mean, just because he moved, that means he did it, yeah. But anyway, yeah. And Helen picked up Dash and Bio from school, and as Bob arrived home, he like slipped on a skateboard, and he actually had bent the side of his car a little bit, and then he couldn't shut the car door. he had to like slam it shut, but the window ended up shattering, and then Bob just like lost his temper, and he was gonna just throw the car, and then there was a little kid on a tricycle watching him, and yeah, the kid was just watching, staring at him, just speechless. And it was funny. Helen tried to have Dash tell his old Bob what he did at school, and it was like Bob was encouraging what Dash did. You were just asking, like, you must have been booking, how fast do you think you were going? Yep. Yep. It just like he just didn't know like what Dash was up to. And yeah, Helen was just trying to tell Bob not to encourage it. And yeah, Bob was like trying to help Dash cut his meat. And then he ended up just cutting right through the plate. Yeah. Yeah, and then, yeah, anyway, and then yeah, Violet and Dash were just like having an argument with each other. And yeah, Dash was running around the table fast, and then yeah, Violet like made a force field for Dash to crash into, and then yeah, Violet and Dash were like fighting, and then yeah, Helen tried to break them up, but yeah, they still continued to fight. And then yeah, Lucius, who was Frozone, came, and yeah, they told Helen and Lucius's wife that they go bowling every Wednesday night, but what they really do is they just wait to perform some type of vigilante work, like, yeah, they're like still try to act like they're superheroes, and they just wait to try to help somehow with any type of crime or with people who need help. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, they were like saving people from a fire that was going on in the building. Yeah. Lucius, like, who was, yeah, since he was Frozone, he had the power to like shoot out ice to freeze things and stuff. Yeah. And he tried putting out the fire with some of his freezing power, but he was just like, he wasn't hydrated enough to shoot out the ice because the fire was so hot. So yeah, all they were able to do was just get the people out. And yeah, Lucius and Bob were wearing ski masks. And yeah, once they got the people out and the fire was put out, they were in a position where it looked like they were like stealing. And then and then a cop showed up, and then Lucius took a drink of water, and then that hydrated him enough to shoot out ice, and yeah, he was able to freeze the cops so they could escape. Yeah, and it turned out that Lucius and Bob were actually like being stalked by another woman, who we would later see, and would become like more involved in this movie as it moved on. Yeah, and then on another day at Bob's work, he's confronted by Mr. Hilf again. And then Bob saw that there was like some type of mugging going on outside. Right? And he tried to leave to go stop it, but Mr. Hilf, who threatened to fire Bob if he left, and then Bob stayed in the room, and then the mugger got away, and then Bob just became so pissed at Mr. Hoof that he just threw him through several walls, and and then Mr. Hoof ended up in the hospital, and of course that caused Bob to lose his job. And then when he came home again, that little kid on the tricycle was back, and Bob was asking him what he was waiting for, and the kid just said that waiting for something amazing. And then Bob found like a hidden message from a woman that was named Mirage, this was the woman that was like stalking him and Lucius. And then she was like sending a message to Mr. Incredible. And she was just saying that she had a mission for him to destroy a savage robot on the island of Nomanasan. And and she just told him to respond back, like if he wants it, and then yeah, and then Bob called back as Mr. Incredible, and he accepted. Yeah. And yeah, yeah, and then Mr. Incredible and came and met Mirage, and yeah, she was just telling him about the robot. And she was telling him that this robot is a learning robot, and the longer he spends fighting the robot, the more the robot will learn how to defeat him. Yeah. Yeah, it was funny, they was like being put through a machine to go fight the robot, but because of how fat he was, he had to like just squeeze through the machines in order to get to the robot, and yeah. And yeah, he was then fought with the robot, and yeah, the fight with the robot continued to go on, and then yeah, eventually Bob ended up defeating it by actually like going inside of the Omni Droid. Lloyd. Yeah, that's what it was called, the Omni Droid. Yeah, he actually went inside it and caused like the Omni Droid to actually just pierce through the body and just rip out the power source, because yeah, that's what would actually defeat the Omni Droid, was just like only like the Omni Droid itself could actually take itself out. And so yeah, that Bob tricked the Omni Droid to do that. Yeah, and then yeah, afterwards Bob just like really felt rejuvenated, and yeah, he started coming out of retirement. And yeah, and then it just caused him to improve his attitude and the relationship with the family. Yeah, and then he discovered that there was a tear in his super suit, and so he visited his old friend, who was like a superhero costume designer, Edna Mode, who was actually voiced by Brad Bird. It was funny as Bob arrived to Edna's home. It was like there was a video screen, so Bob could like actually, and Edna could actually see each other. And Edna just, before she let Bob in, she was like, "Gosh, you've gotten fat." It's funny. Yeah. Yeah, and anyway, and then yeah, Bob then went inside the Edna's home, and yeah, and he was just telling Edna that he just wanted a patch up for his suit, because yeah, Edna didn't know yet that, yeah, he didn't let anyone know yet. He didn't let Edna or any of his family know that he was actually coming out of retirement. He was out of retirement and going back into the superhero work. And then yeah, Edna decided that Bob needed a new suit, and she decided to make one for him. And yeah, and then yeah. Yeah, and then yeah, and since Bob still wanted to patch up on his old suit, she said that she would still like fix the ugly suit, as she would say. Yeah. 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 And when Bob was like leaving to like do these superhero jobs, he would just tell Helen that he was going on business trips for his job. Yeah, because his family and Helen didn't know that he was fired from his job. Yeah, and then yeah, Bob left for Namanasin again. And this time it was like he was on a private jet plane. He was just having shrimp cocktail and mimosa. And yeah, at this point he was in his new suit. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, he met up with Mirage again, and she was just telling Bob that he would have an appointment in the conference room. Yeah, and then he would eventually arrive at the conference room, but no one was in there. Here, and then yeah, as he sat down to wait for someone else to come in, another Omni Droid then showed up and grabbed Bob and just started attacking him. And then we saw that there was the villain Syndrome there, And yeah, he would then reveal himself to Mr. Incredible that he was still Buddy, who was his former Incredible. He was just saying that he wasn't Incredible anymore, that the ship was sailed. And he just told Mr. Incredible that after what happened between him, the two of them last time, that he discovered that you just couldn't trust anyone, not even your heroes. And yeah, and if I can say something, I mean, you could actually like understand and why he felt this way. I mean, this is something that a lot of people go through. I've seen people like talk about this. This happened to people before. Like, they meet somebody that they like really look up to, that they really like, and but yet the person they look up to just turns out being like really like mean or bad to them or something, and then yeah, then it just causes the kid to just turn on them. Yeah, I mean, this is something that some people do go through, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, you can understand why Syndrome felt this way. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, Syndrome just like he didn't actually have any powers, of course, but yeah, he was just using his like advanced technology for like equivalent abilities. Like he was just like using like technology to like come through his fingers to like to stop people from moving. Yeah, he could just like use it to. Yeah, it was basically like the Force, really. Yeah, just like you can control from his fingers to like get people to stop, and yeah, he just had powers from his fingers. I'll just say that. Yeah. And at one point, as he was continuing to confront Mr. Incredible, at one point he just like swung his arm out and it caused Mr. Incredible to just fly down into some water. And then, yeah, Syndrome dropped a small bomb down into the water, and yet Mr. Incredible just tried to swim as far away from it as he could, and then the bomb exploded, and Mr. Incredible was able to survive. But Syndrome thought he was dead because, yeah, there was no detection of him in the water. Yeah. And anyway, yeah, and yeah, Helen went to see Edna because, yeah, she caught on to what Bob was actually doing. Yeah, she discovered what he really was doing. Yeah, and then she went to visit Edna, and then, yeah, Edna was just showing her that she made super suits for her and the kids. Yeah, she was just showing all them one by one. And yeah, she showed like that Jack super suit, who could actually like stand the high temperatures, and yeah, and all the other suits with like Dash, Violet, and hers just were able to like do everything that their powers do. Yeah, Violet's suit itself could actually become invisible like her, and yeah, Helen's suit would be able to stretch out just as far as she could, and yeah, just all that. Yeah, and yeah, Bob, or Mr. Incredible, well, then came like across Syndrome's computer system, and yeah, found out that Syndrome had actually been terminating a lot of other superheroes, girls that have like been retired, and yeah, and he discovered that really the only ones that were still around were him, Helen, and Frozone, and then yeah. Yeah. And then, yeah. And then, like, Helen then activated a type of homing beacon to actually discover where Bob is. And then, yeah, that just caused Bob to just be discovered and just captured by Syndrome and his guards. And then, yeah. And Syndrome was just holding Bob captive. He was just using, like, type of electric shackles on his arms and legs. Yeah. Yeah, and he was just like turning up the power to get some answers out of Bob on where he is and what he's been doing and all that stuff. Yeah. And then yeah, Helen then called for a private plane to go to Namsen to look for Bob, and then yeah, Violet and Dash discovered their super suits, and yeah, Helen just told them not to wear them, and that she has to go save their father. Yeah, and as she was flying in the plane to Nominison, and on the plane you saw that Violet and Dash actually snuck on the plane to go with her, and Jack had a babysitter that they got. Yeah, yeah. And then yeah, then they were discovered by Syndrome, and then they're playing. And then yeah, Syndrome sent some of his guards to try to take, or some of his like ships to destroy the plane. Yeah, Helen tried to get Violet to make a force field around the plane, but Violet couldn't do it, and yeah, the plane ended up crashing down. And yes, Helen used like her body as a parachute for Dash and Violet, so for them to just land into the water. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then yeah, Bob after that he thought that his family was dead. And yeah, and then yeah, and eventually Helen, Violet, and Dash made it to Nominison, and yeah, they were hiding in a cave as like shelter, and yeah, Helen went off to find Bob, and just left Violet and Dash in the cave. And yeah, she gave them like their own mask to put on. Yeah. Yeah. And then yeah, Violet went off to try to find. Well, not Violet. Helen went off to try to find Bob. And yeah, it was funny. She was like coming across guards, and she was trying to sneak past them. And yeah. And yeah, then she eventually made it to the base, and yeah, she was trying to sneak past some other guards. And it was funny, like, the doors kept opening, and Helen tried to, like, go through them, and yeah, since she was able to stretch out, and parts of her body just kept getting caught in the doors when they closed. Her leg got caught in one door, and then, like, her chest got caught in another part. And it was funny, like, at one point, like, the guards could see, like, her body around, and then yeah, she could feel them, and she was just kicking around, punching them, all that, until the doors final, and then she was able to get all the doors to open. And then at the cave with Violet and Dash discovered that there was actually a rocket in the cave, and yeah, it was actually a plan by Syndrome. He was planning to send Omnidroids to the Incredibles town, Metroville, in a rocket, and then yeah, then the rocket was just set off, and Dash found it, and yeah, he and Violet were able to rush out before the rocket blasted, and yeah, and yeah, then like Mirage just like had enough of Syndrome, and she was just distraught by his plans, and yeah, she ended up releasing Bob from being held captive, and yeah, she was telling Bob that the family was still alive, and then yeah, and then Helen then found Bob, and yeah, then the two of them raced off to find Dash and Violet, and yeah, and then at one point Dash and Violet were just surrounded by Syndrome's guards, and then yeah, then the two of them used their powers, yeah. Yeah, Dash just ran off, and Violet just became invisible. The guards couldn't find him, and yeah, the guards were chasing after Dash, and Dash were just trying to outrun them. And yeah, and it showed at one point Dash was actually able to run on water. It was kind of funny. Yeah. And yeah, Dash was able to actually fight one of the guards, and yeah, Violet was just continuing to hide from the guards from being invisible, and then at one point she just jumped in the water. And yeah, the guard just threw water in to try to find Violet, and once the dirt, fell on Violet, the guard found her, but before the guard could fire off at Violet, Dash and showed up and saved Violet. Yeah, and then, like, Dash and Violet combined their powers with Violet making a force field around Dash, and Dash just running. Yeah, and then, yeah, they eventually then found their parents. And yeah. Yeah, and then, yeah, the four of them were working together. And then, yeah. Yeah, but then eventually they all got captured by Syndrome, and then, yeah, he took them back to his base and held them captive. And then, yeah, he headed off to Metroville to initiate his plan. Yeah, he was gonna, like, make people think that he was the real superhero by just pretending to save people from the Omnidroids. Because, yeah, since the Omnidroids were under his control, he was able to, like, stop them, and make people think that he, like, was really saving them. Yeah. Yeah, and as the four Incredibles were being, like, held captive again, Violet was able to escape somehow with her force field powers. Yeah, then she set the family free. Yeah, and then, the family then was able to escape, and then, yeah, they just used an RV with a rocket booster to go after Syndrome. And then, yeah, it was funny, like, in Metroville, Lucius was, like, preparing for a dinner with his wife, and then he saw, like, there were Omnidroids in the town, and, yeah, then he saw that his Frozone super suit wasn't where he kept it, and he was just asking his wife where his super suit was. He was, "Where's my super suit?" And his wife was just telling him that she put it away, and that he wasn't going anywhere on there because they planned their dinner for 2 months. And yeah, Frozone, or Lucius, was just kept yelling at his wife to tell him where his suit was. Yeah. And anyway, Syndrome was making people think that he was saving them from the Omnidroids. Alright, but then the Omnidroid spotted the remote that Syndrome had to control them. And then, yeah, the Omnidroid just knocked the remote out of Syndrome's grasp, and, yeah, it just knocked out Syndrome. Yeah, and then, yeah, the Omnidroid just continued to rampage throughout the city. And then, yeah, then the Incredibles just were fighting off the Omnidroids with the help of Frozone. Yeah. And then, yeah, Mr. Incredible, had possession of the remote control for the Omnidroid. And then, yeah, he was able to detach the pinchers from the Omnidroid. Oh, and then, yeah, he remembered what happened with him before, that only the Omnidroid can really tear the power source out to destroy it. And so, yeah, he had the family, he had, like, I think it was Helen that had the remote, and, yeah, she powered up the pinchers, and it caused it to fly right through the Omnidroid and destroying it. And then, yeah, then the Incredibles and once they got home, they saw that Syndrome was trying to kidnap Jack-Jack. And as Syndrome was starting to fly off with Jack-Jack then we saw that Jack-Jack had, like, some type of transformation power. And, yeah, Jack-Jack just had himself catch fire, and then he became, like, some metal sculpture that was, like, heavy for Syndrome, and was causing Syndrome to fall. Then Jack-Jack just had a psychotic rampage, like, turned into some kind of monster and attacked Syndrome. And then Syndrome then eventually just dropped Jack-Jack, and then Helen had Bob throw her at Jack-Jack so she could catch him and just float him down as a parachute again. Yeah. And then Mr. Incredible then just threw, I think it was a car at Syndrome and his ship, and just just destroyed it. Yeah, and then the Tricycle Kid watched again, and then he just shouted, "That was totally wicked!" And yeah. Then it got to 3 months later, and then Jack was able to join the school track team. And yeah, yeah, Bob just had Jack, not Jack, Jack Dash. He had him just intentionally win second place, so nobody would see any suspicions. And then as they were leaving, they saw the city was under attack by another villain, the Underminer, who was voiced by John Ratzenberger. Yeah, and then yeah, the family all like put on their mask and it showed Mr. Incredible, oh, all revealing his super suit. Yeah, similar to like Superman. And yeah, that's how the movie ended. So yeah, 3.5 stars out of 4. Really, really a good movie right here. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, I'm kind of like mixed on the sequel that they're making for this. I mean, the sequel should have been out long ago. I mean, this is being released in like what 2019 is it? So yeah, this is like 15 years after this movie. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, well, I just don't know what they're gonna do with the sequel, but yeah, yeah. I feel like the sequel should have been done sooner, but yeah, we'll just see what happens with the sequel. Well, yeah, but yeah, this one, yeah, The Incredibles is a really, really, really good movie. So yeah, so that does it for my review of The Incredibles. Hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.